Hello and welcome back to English Shadowing Podcast, your space to listen, repeat, shadow, and learn English at a slow, natural pace. I'm Alex, and I'm happy you're here. In this episode, I speak slowly. I use clear, simple words, and I repeat ideas so you can shadow my voice, practice your speaking, and build your confidence step by step. Today, we will talk about how to think in English, not just short thoughts, but full ideas. What do you think about in the morning? What happens in your mind during the day? What is your thinking routine like? By the end of this episode, you will be able to think in English using clear and natural sentences. Let's begin. Why is it important to practice thinking in English? It's important because thinking is real. It's something that happens to you every day. You know it well. You don't need to search for words or ideas. You don't need to talk about books, news, or plans. You just need to talk about your own thoughts. You can say what you feel, what you see, what you want. Here's the best part. When you think in English, you're practicing real English, useful English, English that you can use with yourself or others in real life. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to try. When you think in English, you begin to speak more naturally. You use simple, complete sentences. You stop translating in your head and you feel more confident when speaking. Let's take an example. Imagine you are alone in your room. You think, what did I do today? What did I do today? If you've practiced thinking in English before, you can continue. You can say, I woke up early. I ate breakfast. In the afternoon, I worked hard. At night, I rested well. Now, that's a full thought. That's real reflection. And that is your goal. Even if you are alone, even if you're not in an English class, even if you are shy, you can still practice English by thinking in English. So whenever you don't know what to think, start with something simple. What did I see today? What time is it now? What did I eat? Where did I go? What do I want tomorrow? These are good questions. They help you remember vocabulary. They help you build strong English habits. They help you think in full sentences without stress. You can do this in the morning to plan your day. You can do this in the evening to review your thoughts. You can even think aloud and listen back. The key is to keep it simple. Use the English you know. Don't worry about mistakes. Just think. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes. One thought today, two thoughts tomorrow, a whole story next week. So today, let's build that skill together, step by step, word by word, one real sentence at a time. Okay, let's start at the beginning of thinking, the morning thoughts. Morning thoughts are a very important part of your day. They set the mood, they give you focus, and they're a perfect time to think in English even for a few minutes. Now, let's practice some simple morning thoughts together. If you'd like, repeat each one slowly, just like shadowing. I wake up and think about my day. Now, if you want, try repeating that. Sometimes I think about what to eat for breakfast. Now you can repeat if you'd like. If I feel sleepy, I think about coffee. I stay in bed and think about my plans. I like to think about good things first. Then I get up slowly and think about my clothes. I walk to the window and think about the weather. I think about what time to leave home. Sometimes I think about my family. When I brush my teeth, I think about my goals. I think slowly and clearly for 2 minutes. Then I wash my face and think about work. It helps me feel ready. Sometimes I think about a new word I learned. When I dress, I think about the day ahead. I try to think positive thoughts. Positive. Sometimes I think about friends or news. If I have time, I think about a book. Next, I go to the kitchen and think about food. I usually think about something healthy, like fruit, bread, and eggs. Sometimes I think about quick meals. If I have more time, I think about cooking something new. I like to think while I eat so I can plan better. I drink tea most mornings. Sometimes I drink water because it feels fresh and clean. While eating, I sometimes think about messages or calls. Other days, I just think quietly and listen to my thoughts. Before I leave the house, I think about my bag. I look at the time and think about my path. I check my mind to see if I have any worries. I pack my thoughts with energy, my goals, ideas, and small hopes. Then I step out and start my day. Okay, let's shadow a story. My morning thoughts. In this part, I will tell you a short story about my morning thoughts. You can listen, then shadow each sentence if you'd like. You can pause after each line to repeat it slowly. Are you ready? Let's begin. In the morning, I wake up and think about the new day. Sometimes I think earlier if I wake up soon. I lie in bed for a few minutes and think about my tasks. I stretch my arms, breathe deeply, and slowly get up. Then I walk to the bathroom and think about fresh start. After that, I brush my teeth and think about my health. It really helps me feel positive. If I feel low, I think about happy memories. I often think of my family while I wash. It makes me calm and grateful. After washing, I choose clothes and think about the weather. Next, I go into the kitchen and think about breakfast. I usually think of simple food like toast and fruit, and sometimes I add yogurt. I take a deep breath of calm. That's very important to me in the morning. While eating, I sit by the window and think about plans. Sometimes I think of goals and I enjoy the quiet moment. Before I leave, I check my thoughts. I make sure I have positive ideas, my reasons, my steps, and sometimes a dream. Finally, I open the door, think of success, and step outside to begin. Okay, let's say a few final practice sentences together. Again, you can repeat right after me if you'd like. Every morning thought is a little different, but I try to follow a good pattern. When I think in English from the start, I feel more ready. I'm proud of my thoughts and I will keep going. Now, let's move to the afternoon, the middle part of the day. Many people have busy thoughts in the afternoon. Some think about work, some about school, some about home or family. Whatever you think, the afternoon is a good time to use English thoughts. Even if you're busy, you can still listen to your mind. You can still repeat ideas. You can still practice, even for just 5 or 10 minutes. Let's learn some common afternoon thoughts together. If you'd like, repeat after me, slowly and clearly. After lunch, I think about my next task. Sometimes I think about rest after I eat. I think about emails and plan my replies. I often think about messages from friends or team. I usually think about 1 or 2 plans in the afternoon. Sometimes I think about meetings or calls to make. If I think from home, I think about my desk and tools. I think about reports or studies for my goals. I take short breaks to clear my thoughts. In the break, I sometimes think about a walk or drink. I like to finish my main thoughts by 4 o'clock. Then I think about the evening. If I have free time, I think about a hobby or rest. I try to stay clear and not get lost in worries. I think about reports or studies for my goals. I take short breaks to clear my thoughts. In the break, I sometimes think about a walk or drink. I like to finish my main thoughts by 4 o'clock. Then I think about the evening. If I have free time, I think about a hobby or rest. I try to stay clear and not get lost in worries. I open my mind and think about my list. I plan replies and make notes. I have a thought about a meeting at 2. We think about ideas and steps. I note to remember all. After the meeting, I think on my own tasks. I plan a report or finish reading. I take a 5-minute break to refresh my mind. During the break, I think about fresh air or water. I see calm inside and feel better. Then I go back to thinking until 5. I review my progress and feel strong. At the end, I close my day thoughts and plan home. Okay, let's practice a few more sentences. If you'd like, repeat after me. Afternoons are full but useful. I think new ideas every day at work. I'm happy when I complete my thoughts. Now, let's go to the evening, the time after work or school. Evening is when many people relax their minds. Some cook, some meet friends, some watch shows. It's a good time to use English thoughts in a peaceful way. Let's practice some evening thoughts. Repeat if you'd like. In the evening, I think about home at 6 o'clock. I change thoughts to rest. I think about dinner in the kitchen. I make simple plans like rice or soup. Sometimes I think about easy meals if I'm tired. I think with my family or alone. We share thoughts about the day while eating. After dinner, I think about cleaning. Then I relax and think about a book. I watch a clip or think quietly. If I have energy, I think about a hobby. I like to call a friend and share thoughts. Before bed, I think about tomorrow. I set my mind in rest. Now, let's shadow an evening story. My evening thoughts. Listen and shadow if you'd like. Ready? In the evening, I think of rest at about 6. I take off worries and calm down. I go to the kitchen and think of food. I prepare vegetables and make a meal. It feels good and makes me peaceful. I set the table and eat slowly. I share with my loved one about the day. After eating, I clean up the space. Then I sit and think of a story. Sometimes I read a page from a book. If it's calm outside, I think of a short rest. I feel relaxed and content. At 9, I brush thoughts and get ready for sleep. I turn off distractions and think of peace. I close my eyes and breathe deeply. I think about my day and feel grateful. Soon, I drift to rest. I reflect sometimes. In the morning, I wake with clear thoughts. Okay, that's our practice for thinking in English. Thank you for joining English Shadowing Podcast. If this episode on thinking in English helped you, please subscribe on YouTube for more. Like the video and comment below. What's one thought you had in English today? Your comments help us connect. See you next time.